it's Alexandra Negrita, the blind soap maker, and today we are going to be making a trifle. So let's start by telling you a bit of family tradition. This is family tradition, this bowl. This is a clear crystal bowl, and it was given to my grandmother on her wedding day. And every Boxing Day we make a trifle in this bowl. It is 1.5 litres. So just bear that in mind when I'm making my trifle. If you're using a smaller bowl, you will be using a smaller amount of the ingredients, okay? So here we go. Ingredients. In the bottom of our trifle, you will be needing some trifle sponge. You usually buy trifle sponge and it comes in packets, at least they usually have about 2 packets in them, and the packet is about this big, if you can hear that. Today we're going to be using about 1 and a bit of trifle sponges in packets this big. You'll see later on anyway. This is strawberries for the fruit of our trifle. We will need some strawberry jelly for our strawberry trifle. And for the next layer to our trifle, we'll need to make some custard. You will need some custard powder. You will need caster sugar. And you will need milk. Now, I have chosen lactose-free milk for today because my husband is lactose-free. Is lactose intolerant. You can make this trifle with any other type of milk you want to make it with, okay? And then on the top of our trifle, I have 600 mils of double cream. Okay, so my first step is that I have washed my 400 grams of strawberries. But looking at them, to be honest, I don't think I'll need all 400 grams of it. I think I'll only need about 240 grams. And I have taken the stalks out and I'm going to slice them nice and thin so that they're nice and easy to eat when they're in my trifle. Then I'm going to put them into this bowl here for use later on. So now I've taken my grandmother's bowl back and I'm going to fill the bottom of my grandmother's bowl with these fingers. So I'm just going to open the packet. I'm going to break them into 4 because they're quite long. And I'm going to use the whole packet bar 1 or 2 of them. So as you can see, I have got what looks like quite a lot of sponge in there, but only 2 of these sponges. So I'm just going to push them aside for now. And I'm going to add my cut up strawberries. Now I'm going to mix it all together so you've got a good mixture of strawberry and sponge together. Now, I know this looks a lot, but believe me, the sponge soaks up all of the liquids and it gets heavier. And then once you've added the jelly, it all becomes compacted together and gets smaller in the bowl. So you've got enough room to put your custard and your cream on top. So I'm going to put this to the side for now. And now I'm going to sort out our jelly. So you need to open your jelly. I'm going to get a pair of scissors and open my jelly. You then break up your jelly into your chosen container. I'm just going to squeeze out this jelly. Okay. Ah, there we go. Get my jelly out. It's nice and sticky. It comes in little squares. So all you need to do is break the squares off and put them into your container. Now you're going to be mixing this with half a pint of boiling water. If I was at home, I would just ask I would just do it into a mug, and then I would pour that mug of boiling water into my jelly. But for now, I'm going to ask my site support assistant, my mum, to help me pour that amount into this jug. I'm trying to do it quickly because the water's already boiled. Here we go. Oh, come on now. Get it all thingied. Because the smaller you put the jelly in, the quicker it's going to dissolve. Dilute. Sorry. There we go. Right, Mum.
To move your hand out of the way.
Sorry. I'm going to gently stir it so that it then dissolves into the water. So I've finished my stirring, it's all nicely mixed and dissolved. I'm going to pull my trifle bottom layer over, and I'm going to find the edge of this for us who are blind. I'm going to put it into the middle, because if you put it into the middle and you know where your spout is, which is usually opposite to the handle, you know it is not going to get absolutely everywhere. So some of us might know, sometimes things dribble down the side and end up on the table. Right, so now that I've done that, there we go. I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to push it down a bit so that it's all nicely into the jelly, okay? And once I've finished doing this, I'm then going to put it into the fridge to set. And then I am going to start making my custard layer. So now for the custard. We have a big trifle, so I like a lot of custard in my trifle, and I'm going to make 1.5 pints of custard. So I have 1.5 pints of milk here, and I have my custard powder. Thank you, Mum. I'm going to put 3 level tablespoons of custard powder into my bowl. One. Two. And that's 3 level tablespoons, isn't it, Mum?
That'll be fine.
Okay, there we go. Put the lid on that. You don't want to knock it over and have custard powder everywhere. And I'm going to take 1.5 tablespoons of my caster sugar and mix that in. There's got to be level tablespoons of caster sugar. That's level, isn't it, Mum?
Yeah, that's fine. I know exact science. That'll be grand, yeah.
If I was doing this on my own, I'd just guess and hope for the best, to be honest, or use my fingers. Right, so I'm just going to mix that in like that. Now I am going to pour a little bit of my milk in. This is very important to do it gradually. So I'm going to pour about that much in, and I'm going to whisk it up so that it's nice and smooth. And once it's smooth, I'm going to add the rest of the milk in and then mix that up. So let's wait for this to get all nice and smooth. So once you can feel that your custard isn't lumpy at all and it's all nice and smooth like this, if you can see that, I'm hoping you can see it. I'm then going to pour the rest of my milk in. And I'm going to carry on whisking it all up. So it's all nice and mixed. Okay, I'm going to make a guess that that is all nicely mixed up now. Now I'm going to take my cling film and I'm going to put my cling film over the top of it. And then I'm going to pop it in the microwave for 5 minutes. So I've taken it out of my microwave. Now for those of us who are blind, it is really hard to get the cling film off. But just put your hands down towards the bowl and feel the bowl until you get that bit, and then kind of pull it up like this. And then just let some of the hot air out, because the one thing you do not want is to burn yourself. Now I'm going to check it and make sure that the stuff that is sticking to the bottom isn't going to stick to the bottom by whisking it. Now if at this point your custard is as thick as you want your custard to be, then great. Just let it cool and whisk it every so often to make sure that it doesn't form a skin. But for me, this isn't thick enough for me for my trifle. So I'm going to take my whisk out and I'm just going to pop it back into the microwave to make it that little bit thicker. Again, hands down, grab a piece because it is difficult as a blind person. Ow. As you can see, it's a little bit hot, so I rather suspect it's looking thick enough. There we go. Right. Yes, boy, yeah, that is definitely thick enough. I'm gonna hold it with this just to give it a bit more purchase when I'm whisking it up. It is definitely thick enough, guys, for my trifle. So that for those of you who can see, that is the kind of thickness I like on my trifle. It's up to you how thick you want to get yours. Hello, so here is my trifle. Whether you can see or not see, you need to know that I have already added the custard in. But I waited long enough for my custard to be cool enough so that it didn't melt the jelly at the bottom layer. And that is really, really important. You don't want it melting your jelly and mixing too much. You want that lovely different layered look to your trifle. I'm now going to decorate my trifle with my whipped cream. I made the cream by taking my cream and adding it into my mixer with a teaspoon of sugar. So again, I'm doing the simple trick of taking a spoonful of the cream, finding the edge, and then using the back of the spoon to push it onto my trifle. And I'm going to try and remember exactly where I put each section as I'm doing this, because I want to make sure that I get it all over the trifle. So I'm just going to turn it every single time I put a piece on so that I get all of the edge. And then I'm going to go in to make sure that I get all of it in, or at least a layer on all of it. So now I'm using 2 forks just to make it a little bit more even on the top of my trifle. As I've done this, I've realised that I have put quite a lot of cream in, and so I've got a very small edge to this trifle. But hey, that doesn't matter. So for those of you who are blind, take your 2 forks and hold them like you would if you're eating a dinner, okay? With your finger at the top of the fork and hold them. And then put them together and just separate them, lightly touching the surface of your trifle. There we go. And then hopefully you will get all the surfaces kind of even and beautiful looking. So I'm going to abandon those now because I think that is all the cream that I need. I have cut up some strawberries here so that I can place them on the top and make it look really pretty. So now I'm just taking my little slices of strawberries and I'm going all the way around my trifle, trying to put them on evenly, but I am not the best. I think I need to move that a little bit that way, and then I'm going to move this like that. There we go. So that your trifle looks nice and decorative. I'm going to put that one in the middle. Ooh, sugar lumps. I'm trying not to dig them into the cream, but I think I am failing on this task miserably. There we go. Now put them so that the points are pointing inwards as I've done it. I've got a few extras, so I'm going to just continue to go round. Just to cover the thing, cover my trifle in a layer of yummy, yummy fruit. There we go. Try and make it a bit more evened out. Or maybe I should have moved those bits to the middle. There we go. I think that is looking like a beautiful trifle. I think. And voila! Bon appetit!